Well, hello once again, everybody. This is, I don't know, it's kind of funny feeling to say another episode of, but this is another episode of In the Community. And as I know many of you have seen, we've, in the past so far, we visited with our local police chief. We got to chat with our Chisago County Sheriff. We were at Brinks. And now today, I have a great privilege. I'm sitting here with the Superintendent of the Chisago Lakes Area School District, Mr. Dean Jennissen. And so it's great to have Dean join us today. And really, the whole purpose of this, it's just to help you hear from leaders in the community and to see that the leaders of the community are working together, and really you're in good hands. That's one of the reasons for this, is to bring confidence and to bring comfort amidst a time when, man, everything is all over the place, and you might hear this and hear that, and I just think sitting here with guys like Dean, now you get to hear right from him kind of what's going on in our schools, what he's observed, maybe some great things he's seen in the community. And so why don't you, right where you're at watching this, let's give a great big warm round of applause for our superintendent, Mr. Dean Jennissen. So Dean, why don't you just kind of tell us what's been going on at the schools, what have you observed, and inform the community on a few things.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me, and this is a great forum, and certainly appreciative of the opportunity to come and spend some time with you, Bill. And for those that maybe haven't met me or have seen my face, I am Dean Jennissen. I've been the superintendent here. This is my third year. And maybe I'm not as visible, and I think to some degree that's by design, because the school really is made up of the students and the staff. They're the stars of the show. Sure. And I've always felt my role in administration is to kind of help set the stage and get out of the way and support those who do the really important work. So we're very proud of our students and our staff, and with COVID-19, we've become an even stronger team of students and staff and families. And I think in my nearly weekly messages out to the community, that's been my central theme, and the fact that we have just an amazing collaboration. And who would have thought back on March 15th and 16th and 17th, when we were trying to wrap our heads around what was going to happen, who would have thought we'd be here today on May 1st, still figuring things out from kind of a reactionary standpoint. But some things have happened in the last week or so that have helped define our role for the school, and we know now that school will end in a distance learning format. We sent out a communication last night that speaks to how we will do school and what will be happening each day from here, from today, May 1st, on to the rest of the school year, with the last student day being on June 3rd. So it's been just an absolute whirlwind, and I heard a phrase yesterday that I hadn't heard, but there's a lot of new phrases being created through this, and it's reaction exhaustion. And as we all know, we've been reacting to things that have been coming to us from external forces. And so much of what we do, we control. We have the control of our day, we have the control of so many things, but this has taken the control away in a lot of ways. And I do think, as you said, Bill, it speaks to fear, and it speaks to anxiety and unknowns and those types of things, but I think the most important thing is that we continue to focus on what we can control.
Absolutely.
And we do that here with the school system. Our families have been so supportive. Bill, here, your church and the other churches have been really supportive of what we're doing at school. Right from the onset, we needed some PPE and other things for school, some snacks and things for our child care, and all that was provided for us right away. And honestly, what we need, is just that continued collaboration. So it's been fantastic. I mean, when we get communication from our families, we get communication from our staff, and we check in with our staff every week in terms of how things are going with their union leaders and that type of thing. And we're just hearing continued support for what we're doing in Chisago Lakes with distance learning, and it hasn't been easy. I live in a neighborhood where there's several school-age children around us and next door to us and that type of things, and talking with their parents, it's challenging for sure. But there's always so much hopefulness in their voices. And even again yesterday, I had a response from a parent to our survey last week. It's someone who is a single parent with 3 children schooling and working 40 plus hours a week, and just the struggle that person is experiencing, but at the same time being so appreciative of what the teachers and the support staff are doing to support their children, and knowing that we're in this together. So that's been just every week, even though there's the reaction and there's some fatigue with that, we continue we continue to be thankful for the partnership that we have, because we've really been working together well, and had no doubt that that's the way it would be. I mean, I've been here not as long as many, but certainly see Chisago Lakes being, exceedingly supportive of their schools, exceedingly proud of what their students and staff members accomplish. So certainly want to echo that continued message of thankful for our communities, thankful for our opportunities to collaborate. And this has forced that at a higher level than ever before, but that's been a good thing.
Yeah, I think what it does is it brings to the surface what's always been there, but it just makes it that much more visible. I mean, it's just so clear. I love what you said. This community, it's just a great community. It really is.
Yeah.
And you get that community feel in so many different aspects. I mean, seeing lines of cars at a local restaurant, and that's just supporting the community, and that is all the way through, even in the schools.
Yeah.
So if you think about, so you talk about where we're at home now, homeschooling and distance learning for the rest of the year. Can you, and I know I'm just springing this on you, but are you able to talk to anything regarding graduation stuff? For what, just to kind of let people know a little bit?
Yeah, and graduation has been on everybody's minds, and we certainly understand that. Class of 2020, first off, I want to address you and say, Bill and I and Denise, who's doing the recording, probably we all had a traditional graduation. Yeah. And we all had something that maybe we took for granted in terms of a commencement exercise. And that is something that's up in the air right now, we have to figure out. And so to the class of 2020, we applaud you for the 13 years that you've spent collaborating with our students, other students, and with our staff members to prepare for this really important milestone in your life. And it just feels so uneasy to be here saying we still don't quite know exactly how we're going to pull that off. But we know that we're going to have a graduation ceremony. It's just a matter of how it will be done. And there'll be some direction coming from the high school principal this afternoon, actually, on May 1st here to our communities to speak to what we're planning to this point. But our plans at this point are just basically a few different options depending upon what our social distancing guidelines are based upon what the CDC and Minnesota Department of Health are saying. And so we're still in a mode where we don't have a plan that we can cement. But we have heard from the commissioner in a call yesterday, the Commissioner of Education, that there will be some guidance for schools within the next week that will speak to graduation ceremonies. So we've been very hesitant to send something out because we knew that could all be kind of blown up.
Ever-changing.
And so,
it's crazy.
Parents and community members that have been really asking about graduation, you've been very patient, and we're very thankful for that. You've asked great questions, and unfortunately we don't have all the answers yet today, but we will have some guidance this afternoon, like I said, going out to families, and then we'll see what comes next week from the state, and we will definitely have something for our seniors, and we're also thinking of other things we can do within the community for our seniors to recognize them and to applaud what they've been accomplishing over the last 13 years. So, when I speak to not only the class of 2020, we think about all the things they would have accomplished this spring in their activities, whether they be athletic or other activities we do in the spring. So much that our students do that is so visible in our community that they've been unable to do. And so, those are things that are really hard. And we think about other honorings that we do in the spring. Our retiring teachers, we have 9 retiring teachers and several other support staff members that we would typically do some special recognition of, and those types of things. So all those things are coming at somewhat of a loss, and some sadness certainly involved in that. But we're also looking at opportunities to celebrate, and we have an opportunity next Wednesday on May 6th. We're planning a parade basically past our high school Wildcat Community Center Performing Arts Center complex, where we'll have our staff there social distancing 6 feet apart to allow families and community to come by in their cars in a safe way, drive by and say hello to their staff members, teachers, support staff throughout the district. And so that's a plan for next Wednesday, 6:30.
PM?
PM.
Oh, because at first I'm thinking, man, I want to do that on my motorcycle. But when you said 6:30, it's like, hold on a second here now.
Yeah. Yeah, and we felt like, and it was an idea coming from our teachers, and actually really great timing because next week is Teacher Appreciation Week.
Oh, sure.
It's also School Nurse Appreciation Week next week too, so there's a lot of opportunity there we kind of wanted to also mutually appreciate what our families are doing, and so we hope that that's a way that we can connect and recognize that we miss each other a lot. And we miss seeing students in our classrooms. That's why we're here. But it's an opportunity for to do this, and we do really want to implore everyone, let's be really safe about it. So we want the children and their families to stay in their vehicles, and as much as you'd want to get out and hug a teacher or a support staff member, that's something that we want to avoid because we are trying to abide by the governor's request for us to be really safe. And for our staff too, we're going to try to spread out, so we know it's going to be quite a long train all the way around that complex, but we think it's going to be a great opportunity for the community. So
because we'll be putting this out, are there any more details? I mean, is everybody meeting at one place and then lining up and leaving, or like how would the community be involved in this?
Yeah, well, basically I still have to work with Chief Schlumbum to kind of get the details on the traffic flow, but they'll be entering into the high school complex by the front office and basically following one-way traffic down that lane south to the community center, out to 292nd, and then probably back into the school complex again at the parking lot side of the PAC, and just kind of snake around, and because our staff will be spread out 6 feet and all the way around, and we're gonna organize by buildings, basically our sites, so high school staff and middle school staff, and they'll all be kind of together. But again, we're going to encourage everyone to really spread out. So we do think, depending upon how many staff show up, it's going to be quite the long train. And kind of once you enter the pipeline, you're in it for the haul, for the long haul. So you'll probably be exiting somewhere around the hockey arena or the baseball field is when you're finally finally through all that. Yeah. So the plan is maybe 6:30 to 7:30. That might be a little bit of an aggressive plan.
Yeah, I think it's a wonderful idea. I'm so glad that you brought that up.
Yeah.
That's
So
great.
we're excited about that. And again, it's Teacher Appreciation Week. It's an opportunity to really celebrate what's great about education, what's wonderful about our communities. And again, we're Chisago Lakes. We're 5 small towns and some outlying areas and things, but we're one team, and that's what it's always been about. And I love those collaborative type feels because we have so much to offer, from Taylor's Falls to the east and all the way to the west in Chisago City and everywhere in between. It's been just a tremendous community feel, and this COVID-19 has definitely brought that out.
I agree, absolutely. And that's one of the reasons why I think this kind of stuff is great. It's for people to hear from you just how great what you're seeing in the community and the response in the community. Because I think there's a lot of people, Dean, that are they're really taking this seriously, as we all should be. But they really are quarantined in their house, and they haven't gotten to get out and see people. And I think it's so important for you guys to hear from somebody like Dean in his position and who he is in our community, the great things he is seeing from the community. And even though you're at home, and even though maybe you've seen the same 5 people for the last month and a half, almost 2 months, your community it's amazing, it's tight, it's glued together, it's working together and making huge differences in a lot of different ways. And I think it's great. Yeah,
and I think it's really important to really focus on what you can control, and don't compare. Don't compare yourself to someone else and what they're doing or not doing and how they're living their life necessarily. It really is about you taking care of you and your family, and really being safe in your own way and what it means to you. And we can't tell someone how they should be feeling about this. We can't tell someone that everything's going to be okay, because to them it may not feel okay today. But at the same time, when you realize there's hope out there, there's people that are willing to pitch in, willing to help out. I mean, our meal service numbers have jumped from maybe serving 200 meals a day to start this, and now we're serving well over 400 meals a day. And those are things that we can help provide, and the situation changes. We have members of our community that are being furloughed on a day-to-day basis, and so those needs change. And as those needs change, know that there's resources there. There are people ready to step up and be a part of that change that now is taking place in your life. And as this continues to wear on, your own strength, your own mindset and stuff shifts a little bit too, and you need that daily hope that there's an opportunity here for you to engage with someone or something that can help provide the resources that you need, and we know that the school can be a part of that, and so we're very thankful. With your children, a day-to-day interaction with your children is something that our staff so much looks forward to, and we know that the students look forward to too, and we know that hopefully parents that take some pressure off you because you've been homeschooling, and so to some degree, Teacher Appreciation Week is about parent-teacher appreciation because
exactly,
you become teachers too.
Absolutely.
And so we recognize that parents and anything we can do to take the pressure off at the school, we want to certainly hear from you, and you've been great about providing input and ideas. And that's been helpful too. And last week we sent out a survey that we had about 700 responses to, and just great feedback from our parents and families about how it's going. And that was really what we wanted to find out. And we heard through those surveys that overall our communication is real strong and just right. And the amount of work that your students are experiencing from an academic standpoint seems to be just right. But we know that it doesn't meet every family exactly the way they'd like to see it, because some students are looking for more rigor and some are looking for less. And so much of that depends upon what your family's going through and what you're experiencing, because if mom and dad are losing their working positions, losing income, that certainly changes the dynamic within the home. Yeah. And again, we want to be sensitive to that and try to find that just right spot for your family. And so it's been really, really, I don't know, interesting, but it's been really, really good. And people ask me all the time, like, how are you doing, or how do you think things are going? And I say, as challenging as things are, I still believe that we're all doing as okay as we can, and we have our good days and our bad days. But the bottom line is within us is that fiber, that's really coming out right now in terms of the strength that we didn't even know we had. Yeah. Because we've been pressed into a way that we never thought we'd experience, and it's just really human nature. We're going to come out of this okay. We're going to come out of this stronger, and it's all because what we have deep inside us is what really drives that.
We're pressed but not crushed.
Yeah. Yep. Perplexed but not
that's
abandoned.
Right. Listen to this guy. So we're going to wrap this up, but a couple things. And so I want to ask you to do this. Are there any resources that you want to make people aware of? I know you had let me know of a couple things in an email here, but just if there's anything you can, just resources, the way that somebody can get in touch with the school district, just a few quick resources, and then just whatever your closing thoughts might be for the community. Yeah, well, I think, from a resource standpoint of what we need as a district, I can't really speak to anything in particular. We've been able to meet needs and do the things we need to do. I think one thing to draw your attention to is our school's website, and we have a COVID-19 section of our website that really has all the resources there that parents and families might need. But one thing we rolled out about a week ago was a mental health section for it, or just how are you feeling, how are you doing? And that's not just for students, but it's for students, it's for parents and families, it's for staff members. And so I would call your attention to that in terms of resources for your family. And then the other thing that we just continue to ask is continue to communicate daily with your teachers. We really need your attendance, students, right till the end of the year, and we know that those last 5 days we're going to wrap up with some wrap-up activities, enrichment activities, that type of thing. We're going to be cutting off new instruction at some point because we have to wind down the school year. Yeah. But we really need that engagement, and that goes both ways. We love that interaction with our students, but we also want to have that interaction with our students just to see how they're doing. And so we really need you as a community, as families, as students, to stay engaged right up until that last day of the school year, so we can interact, because that really is what makes the difference. But please check out our website, and please continue to communicate your needs and how we can respond. And then that helps us maybe to respond to you, Bill, or any other community resources that might say, hey, what can we do? Because I know many in the community have reached out and said, Dean, if there's anything we can do for the school, just let us know. And so we've got a list of folks that we could reach out to at a second's notice if we needed something. That's great. So it's a great community. And I love it. Just listening to you even, it just gets me fired up just to be part of this town. I mean, it's really cool. Yeah. And I guess, kind of final thoughts is hang in there. Hang in there, everybody. We're hanging in there with you. We know that there will be an end to this at some point. We don't know when that day will be. Until then, we just lean on each other. We lean in hard, and we lean on each other, and we continue to communicate, and we continue to support
The school is one piece of that, but there's so much else out there. It's the ministerial, the church community. It's our chamber and our Rotary and our Lions clubs and our Legion clubs and all those people that are looking for a way to engage with each other differently, but also looking for a way to help and support.
Yeah.
And so that's what makes us special. That's what makes us who we are as a community and who we are as people. So just really encouraged by just our community and humanity, just people in general.
It's good to see the good.
Yeah,
We hear so much about the bad, and it's just like it's just good to see the good. It's so important.
Yeah.
That's good, man. Well, Dean, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you taking time to come over and hang out with us. To all of you, I hope you've enjoyed getting to hear from our superintendent, Dean. I love getting to do this. I want to encourage you to share this because I know that there's a lot of people who will want to hear from somebody like Dean and in his position. So please get this word out there, get his encouraging words out there. You guys, I appreciate you. As Dean said, we're going to get through this. Hang in there, keep moving forward, persevere through whatever comes next. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and God bless you.